Hello everyone, this is Gavin and welcome back to my Let's Play of the Baldur's Gate Trilogy. In this episode we'll be finishing up the Usnatha area and leaving the Underdark.
It's done. I'm there.
Ah, it is you again.
I think up until Watcher's Keep and the later parts of Throne of Ball, the rest of this run's going to be pretty quick. I haven't been having any problems with any encounters at all just because we're immune to everything, essentially. Kangax might be a problem, but I can also use a protection from Undead Scroll and just trivialize that fight. I might have mentioned this before when talking about Kangax, but you used to be able to pickpocket another ring of Gax from the first form before he aggroes onto you, and then you could have two, and that was really awesome. I think they patched it out, and I also am not a thief, so it's kind of a moot point for this playthrough. I've been also thinking about doing a solo Dark Moon monk for my next playthrough. I think that might be pretty awesome.
It's probably best left
It is
to
you
me.
again.
I think it would be much more difficult than anything I've tried before, just because up until you get, level 14-ish, monks are quite weak. Because you can't rely on an enchanted weapon, you have to rely on your base Thako, plus whatever items that you pick up. And in that respect, the the monk is more than any other character tied to experience. His power is tied to experience rather than items. But that's another class I've never played. I've made a couple and just dicked around in Chateau Irenicus before with them, but I wasn't crazy about
This is worth it.
how it played. I think the Dark Moon monk is the best option uh, for me anyway.
The best surfacer is a dead surfacer.
I might even start that today and put it up without any commentary. Just upload some monk gameplay. And I think right here, Jarlaxle or Carlisle, however you want to pronounce his name, probably Jarlaxle, something like that. He is one of the coolest characters that R.A. Salvatore ever made. I think he's much cooler than any of his main characters, to be honest. I loved reading about him and Artemis and Sherry doing their stuff.
I'll see to it.
I do what I must, when I must.
So this was a weird glitch. Solofane, for some reason, started talking to me when I was about to fight a lich here.
What is it?
Scream.
No effect. No effect. No effect.
Through destiny and might, we shall rule supreme.
The reason I think Jarlaxle is so cool is just because he's powerful, but he's smart, and he has a lifetime's worth of magical items that you can use. He's a utilitarian character. I think the closest
Give me some.
character he would be in terms of Baldur's Gate, he would either be probably either a fighter thief or a maybe a blade. And I talk about it all the time, but those are the types of characters that I love. Not necessarily raw power, but just a lot of utility. This character I quite like because he is exceptionally powerful, but he's
I'll see to it.
a little less fun to play, to be honest. He's just so strong. That's a cursed ring, by the way. You don't need to grab that. I don't remember what the curse is, but I know it is a cursed weapon.
I'm there. If it must be done. Yeah. 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 Time is up for you, my friend.
In terms of the monk, I think the biggest downfall of being a monk is probably the fact that you can't be hasted or slowed. Just not being able to be hasted is such a piss off. I might not even record the part of that monk playthrough in Baldur's Gate 1 just because it's going to be a cheese fest. I'm going to go pick up that
It's probably
fireball
what's left of me.
amulet, use that as often as possible. I don't remember if you can use wands as a monk, but just use a ton of wands. Oh, by the way, if you didn't notice my fail in the dragon egg little chamber there, I accidentally put in the wrong eggs. I wanted to side with Solifane, and I did it wrong. So I'm gonna end up having to reload here and do all this again.
Time is up. Yeah. Yeah.
Lolth be praised! All victory is her doing!
I hope this is
Ah,
worth it.
it is you again.
So right here is where I make the mistake, or I realize my mistake. I thought you put Solophane's eggs um, in the egg chamber and then give Fairy's eggs back to her, but that doesn't make any sense. So I have to load up my autosave. Thank God I had one.
Yeah, I'll see to it.
So as you can see, I was not willing to do that annoyingness again of almost dying to these stupid mustard jellies and Odiogs.
I'm there.
These swords destroy. I asked on Reddit if people knew the exact stats for these Mordenkainen swords, and apparently they only get one attack per round,
It must be
which
done.
means haste is just as good as improved haste for them.
Lolth be
I didn't know that,
praised.
and from their damage output, I always thought that
It is you again.
they did like more attacks per round than that, but apparently not. But regardless of their exact stats, I know the gameplay effect that they have, and the gameplay effect is good. They're very, very powerful. It's so hard to look up information for this game because, I mean, the game has been out for years and years and years, so there's a lot of stuff. Basically, every question you could think to ask has been asked before. But the downside is that some of the information is outdated. It's on the internet because it's for the original Baldur's Gate 2, not the enhanced editions. And the enhanced editions, unless I want to go cycle through all their patch notes and like the hundreds and hundreds of little fixes, there's so much undocumented stuff. It's kind of difficult to find all that information right offhand. I seem to remember that it's possible to kill that lesser demon lord there. But I think it soft locks your game. You get stuck inside that room. Either that or you don't get the quest experience, and I think the quest experience is much more valuable, especially if you're running in a party of 6, because each one of your characters would get 25,000 experience points for that. So
I'll see to it.
what would that mean? It means that the lesser demon lord just to break even would have to be worth 150,000 experience by himself if you had a full party of
I
6.
see you there. The way to the surface is clear. Good luck to you.
So I'm sure you noticed, but when I was in this area before, fighting the Drow, excuse me, I'm gonna restart that sentence because that sucked. When I was in here fighting the Kuotoan prince, I also came over and fought that party of Drow, even though they weren't aggroed onto me. The reason I did that was because I knew I was going to be here now, and I was able to get the drop on them rather than vice versa.
I'm there. If it must be done.
From a game design standpoint, I don't particularly like all the Drow dropping all the Drow items and then you're unable to use them for the rest of the game. From an RP standpoint, it makes total sense. But if we're talking about strict game design, it doesn't feel good to have that strong power spike when you get down here and use all the Drow gear, and then you can't use it any longer. As soon as you get out of here, it's like it makes your characters feel a little bit less satisfying than they used to. Just because you get used to a certain level of power, a certain amount of, a certain time to kill, I don't know, a certain amount of DPS and ability to dodge enemy attacks. And then that's greatly reduced when you have to switch back to your normal gear.
Yeah, time is...
So I decided just to kill all those Drow. It's not necessary, you can just run on through. But they're worth 4,000 each, and they're very easy. It's like each one dies in a round for my character.
We shall fight to the death.
On occasion, those war elves will
As much as
aggro
you...
onto me for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, the remainder of this episode is talking to Elhan and getting the quest going on. In the next one, we're going to be doing the Planar Sphere, which I haven't done in a while, and I think I might take some time out from straight finishing the game and do the Planar Sphere keep quests. Just spam rest and stuff until the quests become available. I've never done the Mage Stronghold before, and I'm interested in it. So let me know if you want me to record that or not. I'll probably record it anyway. I just might upload it with very little commentary. Just say, skip this if you don't want to see the Mage Stronghold. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.